You guys ever heard of a band called 21 Pilots? I recognize the name, but I don't know if it's a band name or if I thought it was a track name. Anyhow, Orenai wants us to listen to the band 29 Palms. What the fuck? 21 Pilots, and the name of the track is The Contact. Let's go. Oh, rock.
Hello, Clancy.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blinds. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts.
Some super great production engineering going on here.
Crazy, how'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that.
The glitchiness is fantastic in the engineering and the techniques.
Wake up and I found out, did it change up? Wait, did it change up? Is it light out yet? Did I find out where? Better walk around the edge of the room in the bed where behind my face around, better try to breathe.
Classic drum pattern.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blind. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts. I used to keep. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. I used to
Like that little arpeggiation back there. This is great. This section is super heady, ethereal. I really loved it. The song on the emphasis is on the piano, arrangement-wise.
I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet.
God, this drum pattern goes all the way back to like the early 70s.
That's crazy. How'd you know that? I'll keep myself up. That's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts. I used to keep. I don't sleep much. That's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up. That's maybe how you know that. Ooh, my hallucination. I used to see.
I like that polyphonic synth lead. Great selection, the bass tone. That's sustained.
A contract. I promised you a contract.
Oh, I'm super digging this section. I don't know what that was all about. So here's the deal. First and foremost, I really enjoy, obviously we do all different kinds of music here. And I love when producers are taking these chances or these opportunities to, when was this released? But just about 5 months ago. So then obviously this is going to be, you know, very forward sounding production, engineering, technique. I forgot who said it earlier in the chat. This is one of the times that if you do use something that is kind of the auto-tune effect, it is an effect already for a singer that has a great voice. It's used as something that adds a percussive value to it, adds a glitchiness to it when you want to add, like, you know, these, you know, flares to it. Obviously, just based on the video in of itself, I can get a better shot of him there or something there. I don't know. Let me just move that over here. I'll just go here. There we go. Obviously, when he first started to sing, he has that very high, nice, super tenor vibe in his tone. Kind of not super powerful, aggressive, coming from like a chest thing, but he's coming from around here. But he does have that kind of, I don't say this as a dig, kind of this whiny slide off sometimes in some of his notes, you know. And because I never heard of the band before, I didn't know what it was. I was kind of looking at maybe this was going to be like a metalcore kind of thing. Not hearing any of it, when he jumped into that next section, which I think was the pre-chorus, is where that kind of auto-tune vibe kind of came in. And then we jump into the main chorus. That's what it felt like. I was just kind of reaching a little bit for, okay, where's the hook here? Because there's sometimes a lot of this glitchy engineering can be a little bit of a distraction, but I'm old, so I'm going to listen to things, you know, completely different. I so appreciate the choices that they used for the synths to handle a lot of the parts. When I was talking about that drum pattern, all the drummers in the world, every drummer in the world knows where that comes from. And that comes from an early 70s kind of vibe where, you know, Zappa and other, you know, you're starting to get a little more pushy with a rock kind of vibe without pushing it, you know, pre-Bonham kind of sound. But that's why I was like, oh, that's killer. I said the drummer's using, you know, a classic pattern there. But once again, there was a lot of torching going on in the engineering with like oversaturations and things back and forth. And another thing that I super dug, the bass, when you're choosing basses, I've done this before. I did kind of a, I don't know what you call it, kind of a glitchy EDM, cyberpunky kind of a thing. And the bass that I decided to use is a bass that didn't have a release. So when you hold it down, boom, the velocity would stay, the velocity carries all the way through. It doesn't slide off, it doesn't glide off, it doesn't release. And I love the tone, whoever was doing the producing here, I love the tone or the patch that he built, he or she may have built and used. I don't know, that's why I'd say it that way. Anyway, love the track. I fully dug the track. I was fully into it. But it did take me into a place like I got, maybe I was starting to over listen a little bit because there's so much stuff happening there. And because I love all kinds of music, I'm really interested in like going, how do you do that? So thank you for that.